This is John Paul Rai. I'm coming to you from Tokyo, Japan, and today I want to talk a little bit more about Harry and Meghan Markle and the Oprah interview because it seems there's been a little bit of interest around the fallout and the aftermath of the interview. Now, some people say this interview was kind of set up, no tough questions, all softball questions, which it did feel like. There was no challenge. It just felt like, three friends hanging out and Oprah, almost like a psychiatrist, just listening and understanding what they say. And a lot of people find that to be, pretty BS. And of course, they said some really bad things about the royals on a platform that has millions and millions of followers. Now, some people were thinking, well, how come the royals don't just respond? They should respond. What are they thinking? I guess, they're wrong. Well, what they said was, if they respond, then Meghan Markle can record it and maybe twist that around and put that out there in the media, which makes sense to me. And the greater point is, they don't trust Meghan Markle. Now, I want to be fair for a second. It's come to my attention that the royals have done some bad stuff themselves, and it's kind of like, a lesser of two evil arguments here. Maybe in my older videos, I made it out like they were the good guys, she was kind of the bad guy, but they've got, not a very clean record themselves. So I'll keep that in mind. But for now, I want to stick with Meghan Markle and Harry and what's going on with their interactions. So, to get into more detail, what they're saying is they went on international television in front of like 50 million people, I think, viewed this thing globally, and they trashed the royals. And here's a quote. The reason the British royal family, the House of Windsor, has survived is because they have been quite ruthless in their survival mode and they're stuck to the same traditions and protocols. Harry acknowledged that when he said, my brother and my father are trapped. So probably hinting towards, there's some things that's tradition that some people just don't want to change, basically. They also say that anything that they say that Meghan Markle hears might become news on CBS. They specifically mentioned CBS. Could be another news network, but I think usually the more left-leaning news networks are on Meghan Markle's side. That's just how I pretty much see it. And Piers Morgan pitches in here. He says, hi Gayle King, rather than acting as your Sussex friend's PR mouthpiece to facilitate their ongoing public trashing of our royal family, how about doing your job as a journalist and ask them about all the lies they told in Oprah's interview? America should hear the truth. And obviously, the big one was that Meghan Markle said that they questioned her or they made racist comments about what color Archie's skin was going to be. Does she have proof? I don't think she has a recording or any kind of actual evidence, so they can claim it's a lie. I think what happened was, like I said with my son, who's half Japanese, some people just naturally have the conversation, what's the kid going to look like? It's not necessarily like I'm being a racist towards my wife's Japanese family. It's just natural, right? Who's he going to look like? What color is the skin? What shape is his hair? That's something I think some people have the natural conversation about. That's what she could have turned into racism because, as we know, everything's racism these days. I just saw a Weight Watchers meeting where now weight loss is racist. Like, literally, everything these days is racist. So, you can't escape it. So my point is, a natural conversation can be a racist conversation if you want it to. And they raise some good questions here. We certainly hear a lot about Harry's family, but what is Meghan's relationship with her father really like? Why is there so much division within her family? Why was there only one family member at her wedding? That was extraordinary. Meghan comes across as an emotionally intelligent, bright young woman, so what's going on there? Good question. Obviously, they're talking about Harry's family because, Harry was a royal, so, obviously, I can't say obviously enough, that's going to be the spotlight for the media, but since Meghan Markle is in the media, and since we're talking about the blame game and who's bad and who's good, what about Meghan's family? Great question. I haven't quite thought of that. Like, I think because they're royals, obviously, it takes attention away from Meghan's family, and you might not think to ask about Meghan's family, but those are some great questions, and I suppose if there were answers, they'd probably have some of these answers, but they don't. So I'll keep thinking. If you know anything, send me an article. Anything. Social media. Maybe I'll make a video. As you can see, that's kind of leading into the end of this one. I'm doing pop culture, Death vs. Heard, Little Meghan Markle, whatever comes up. If you're not subscribed here, consider it. If you don't subscribe, I'll be sad, but I'll get over it. See you next time.